Lots of people today use the term cold science because they're analytical, and they don't even know what analytical means. Science means closer approximations of the way the world really works. So it's telling the truth, is what it is. A scientist doesn't try to get along with people. They tell them what their findings are. They have to question all things. And if some scientist comes up with an experiment that shows certain materials have certain strength, other scientists have to be able to duplicate that experiment and come up with the same results. Even if a scientist feels that an airplane wing, due to mathematics or calculations, can hold up a given amount of weight, they still pile sandbags on it to see when it breaks. And they say, you know, my calculations are right, or they're not correct. I love that system because it's free of bias and free of thinking that math can solve all the problems. You have to put your math to test also. I think that every system that can be put to test should be put to test. And that all decisions should be based upon research. So that's why I say we won't make the history books in the future. The people of the future will be so different. The children will never be given books like Cinderella or Dickie Deer and the sheep on the way, and then a cow. The cow said moo moo, then another sheep and said ba ba. Well, that's, if you fill the kid's head with that kind of crap, what do you expect? And you tell them with religion, God loves you. And when a hurricane comes, it doesn't go over the church, it blows the church away too. And if a bus full of nuns, it doesn't go over or around that bus, it blows that bus away. It says, it's the will of Allah. You know, or no, it's God's will, depending on the way you're brought up. If I designed a bridge and it caved into, it's the will of Allah. It's your math that's off, buddy. You can't get away with that kind of religious crap. Or the Lord acts in strange ways. If I say the bridge acts in strange ways, I can't get away with that. So science is not perfect. It's just closer approximations of reality. That's all. When man sits down and legislates treaties and laws, they're all artificial. They're designed to keep people in line with the established system. All laws. They're not made for the benefit of man. They have no other way of controlling it. So when nations sign treaties with other nations, if they violate those treaties, they have warships to enforce them, armies and navies. So armies and navies are not to protect people. They're there to protect an established system. Every established system works in a similar manner. It takes the youngsters and say, what's the greatest country in the world? The youngsters are having the slightest idea. This country. This is the greatest country in the world. And God's on our side. Every country does that. And so you got a bunch of pinheads all over the world responding to these mechanisms of control. If you had a free society, you couldn't get people to go to war. If you had an intelligent type of upbringing amongst children, they would say there must be many other ways of solving problems other than killing people. Now here they take a group of scientists and engineers and they work on flying machines. You give them a flying machine, they use it to bomb cities. You give them dynamite, which can be used for many different purposes, and they use it to blast people to pieces. So how can a person be scientific if they have allegiance to their country rather than to the earth and everyone on it and the intelligent use of resources? This would be a scientist to me. Many people have entrusted their decision-making to government. Bingo. And many people have also given that decision-making to the deity. They create a deity, then they say, he will make the most appropriate decision. Prevent my house from burning down, prevent my children from being killed, and help us along the way. But it's going to take time for people to take on the responsibility of managing this wonderful gift of nature, the earth, water, all the wonderful things we have, topsoil, and we have to take care of the earth. We have to assume responsibility. We have brains, and the brains can be programmed in many different directions. They can go into the abstract region, which has nothing to do with improving our lives. We can invent reasons for nature, or we can say, I don't know how nature works, and hold that in abeyance and try to find out. That's the difference between science and religion. Religion has answers. The Lord works in strange ways when they can't account for anything. The scientist says, I don't know. And what are you going to do about it? He goes into a lab to try to find out. What's the best shape for a boat? What's the best arrangement for sails to get the most effective movement from the wind? He says, I don't know. So he sets up an experiment. An experiment is truth-seeking, but tangibly truth-seeking. But philosophy and theology, you sit back on an armchair. You say, well, I guess the trees are here to give us oxygen. The science is that the trees are here, they produce oxygen, and that enables us to survive. They're not here for that purpose, because there are many remote islands that have trees without any humans producing oxygen. And there are many tidal waves that go over islands without people on them. Well, so they're not there to punish people.
Humans are amazingly anthropomorphic.
Terribly so.
Oh, yeah. It's all about us.
Yeah.
It's all
My
about
mother
us.
used to be like, she used to say, the ant is going home to feed its young. I said, how do you know that? Maybe going home to eat its young. Like the spiders, they mate, then the female eats the male. And I'm not talking about pornography. I'm talking about digesting them.